So hello and welcome to Benjamin Talks About His Visualization Project. About 2 months ago I have put a video on this channel to announce that I'm going to visualize some data about electric cars. So today I want to navigate you through the result and ask you for some feedback. Let's jump right into it. So here you can see 3 different situations electric car batteries can find themselves in. So first one is a harsh winter condition where the battery is really cold and needs some time to warm up before it can charge during driving. Second one is sportive driving where you are driving really fast. The third one is just a normal driving situation where the battery doesn't change that much. This graph actually shows these 3 data sets in different colors, and I can move around here. I can zoom in and zoom out, even see individual data points by zooming in. I can mark different data points with my mouse, and I can zoom in and out also by grabbing these axes and pulling them up or down. On the side I have the story box, which explains the data to me with some introduction, and I can click proceed. It will show different data sets here with the little flashy boxes and explain them. And all the time I can resume my normal explorative behavior by zooming in and out, and the data does not get disrupted. After I've been done, I click proceed one last time, and then the button here turns into this explore button with a little martini glass on it. And if I click that, I can go to a next step where I can go down and explore each of those data sets individually. So this I don't really see as a part of the Data Analyst Nanodegree anymore, but it was fun to realize nevertheless, and I hope that this will actually provide some value to the engineers who actually supplied me with the data so they can go on and explore other data sets with the same functionality. So I click the sportive driving button here to go down to the data set of the sportive driving situation. And what I'll actually see is that now I can explore this data set in a very detailed way. Again, I will be guided by a story here. We are talking about how the state of charge develops in the battery. And we can see the state of charge here rising. And as I move my mouse over the state of charge, this visualization on the side, this little graphic, shows the state of charge being replenished. I can skip through to the next. Now we are talking about the current and how the current peaks during different parts of the driving and how a limit pushes down the current again. So this is even marked here with a little flashy box. And again on the battery graphic on the side, I actually see a colorful indication showing the battery current. Next we'll talk about temperature and how it's rising while the cooling process starts. So this is shown with these orange indicators here, and I actually chose that the different colors are represented here on the side in these axis gradients, and they will be shown also on the data points which I highlight and in this graphic here as a fill color. Now we're comparing the temperature with the voltage. So it's also possible to have different metrics here lined up on top of each other, and moving those metrics around actually will move all the graphs at the same time. And should I get lost at any point inside of the view, I can refit the view here to the center, and I will have my data set completely in view again. Actually, at the moment when I go off on my own here, zooming in and zooming out, the graph changes to explorative mode, and the story here is hidden from view, but I can open it again at any time by clicking return to guided tour. We have one other part talking about the relation of voltage to power, and a final part where we are talking about different battery cells and how they have a different heat distribution. And the very last part here encourages us to go off on our own. So in these drop downs here, we can actually select any metric or a combination of metrics. We can go and select the current, select a voltage, and then compare the two metrics with each other. We can add a temperature. We can get very complex, but of course the more graphs we add here, the more complicated it gets to analyze. So returning to the guided tour here, we have the button Return to Overview, which brings us back to our home page, from which we then can go off and explore another data set altogether. So talking about a few more elements here on the page, there's a menu here which lets us switch as we like between any of those views, like the explorative view here or the explanatory view. We have a technical white paper, which I will be still writing. Right now there's just the link to my previous video here. And we have JavaScript API documentation, which gives us the option to go into all of the classes and all of the modules which are part of the code here. There's also the funny picture I always draw when I make some technical documentation, because I think it's just really important to have something human amongst all of the technical specifics. So I hope you can go off to the link which I have provided, play around with my visualization a little bit, and then click this Give Feedback button here. This will bring you to a Google Doc, and here you can enter some of your comments, and I would really be happy to hear from you via this form, via some comments in the forum, or via personalized message. I hope you liked what you saw, and I hope you have some ideas maybe how I can still make this better, and wish you a nice day and goodbye.